Hi Twitch or hi on YouTube if you're watching the VOD. Welcome to the stream and welcome to Sanctuary. Of course, the weather's getting bad as soon as I go to stream. Hold on. Everything's fine. Wrong one. Yay. So on YouTube yesterday I posted a more like cinematic tour of the settlement since I finished it, but I figured I should kind of do a more in-depth kind of tour to cover some areas that might not have made it into the video, as well as I need to take a bunch of pictures of the settlement still, so this is kind of my excuse to like go around and take pictures and explain things. First things first, there's supposed to be a settler manning this defense spot. If I want to take a picture, I should probably find out where he is. Most of the time they abandon their posts to go hammer at an invisible wall, which is great. I love that for them. Sturgis is a scavenger, so he can do whatever he wants. I don't know what this chick is doing. We'll let her wander, I guess. Preston, it won't let me assign him to anything. I think I haven't progressed in his quest enough yet, so who knows. Here they are. How's it going? Can I have you go over here, please? Please and thank you. I have these little guard mats from the CVC you can assign settlers to. And like, even though this is a very defensive object, it's not assignable. So I just put one of these mats behind it. And if we're lucky, he'll come hang out. I'm gonna try sleeping for an hour. Sometimes they'll kind of fuck off. It's early in the morning, so they're all like, hey, let's build
Sure,
Sanctuary.
let me just stop what I'm doing to talk to you. I'm being sarcastic. Leave me
Okay, see ya.
alone.
Hey.
Go to your post, please.
Yes?
You too, I don't even know where you belong. Go there.
Yes.
Okay, let me try to sleep. So this is super congested, because every trader feels the need to come here at once, but you know, what can you do? It's the reason I don't normally build with settlers in mind. Just have to accept that these things happen.
That's what I figured when they were.
I'm sure I could build it more accessible,
At least
but
it's not raining.
it's fall, man. It just works. Let's see. Nope. You bastard. This is honestly why the recording process took so long. We'll probably just circle back around to this point, if I don't want to get with the program. I'll just come back and get a picture later, but here's the entrance regardless. If you know Sanctuary, you know that there's tons of houses here before, but I scrapped pretty much all of them. My idea for this build was the cul-de-sac, so I just used basically that circle of houses right at the end. I just filled in this front space with a bunch of trees that matched my landscape mod, and then a few different areas. This is actually a defense post that's assignable. Of course, nobody's here as well, but a little note at every defense positioning in the settlement, I added one of these little radios. That way they can all communicate. Thought it was a nice little touch. further up the way, we have another defense post over here. This one specifically being the one that leads to the road to the vault. So that's why I have a bunch of like vault clutter and stuff. I'm sure they do most of their scavenging in the vault itself, so this is just kind of to defend this road, and there's another radio. We have this welcome sign. Most of the signs you see are from the mod custom signs on Xbox, so it gives me this kind of different lettering. There's a couple different lettering mods around. This is the one that specifically works good on console, but I used it a lot. You'll see it a lot in this settlement. These two buildings up front are mostly for defensive purposes and for my settlers to hammer walls.
Huh?
So with the scrap mods I have available to me on Xbox, you can delete the buildings, yes, but you cannot delete the little tiny animation markers that all these people are standing at.
What?
They're just there in the game's code, because that's where they like rebuild the main house. So it's just one of those things that's gonna happen. This building came out really cool. It's actually a guard tower. That's really its only sole purpose. I needed somewhere to frame around the workbench since I can't move it anyway. So it started with a, oh my god, Stur, just get out of here. Look at yourself.
What's up?
It's just ridiculous. Ay, ay, ay.
Just looking to trade a little.
I can handle the hammering the
Place
invincible
really
wall,
come
but I
together,
can't
huh?
take you inside
Can't
the
take all the
elevator.
credit.
Can't be living like this.
Like no official status.
Okay, you go right there. You can do it. Whatever, it's better than nothing. This is actually a scavenging station. I have Sturgis assigned to it, so if anything, he's supposed to just hang out here and not inside the elevator,
You ought to be careful.
but
I can fix most
it
things.
looks pretty good.
But
The
people
pops
don't
of
think
red
so
work
easy.
really good over here. The elevator itself, you can use and go up to this little defense post up here. Settlers very rarely will go up here. I have one assigned to it, but I never seen them like actually climb up here. Kind of just appear here every once in a while. But it does work, kind of. Again, there's another radio there at that one too. For the clutter down here, there's really not much. There's like an extra seating area, storage. I actually have this CVC engine generator, and I hooked it up to where you actually power the elevator itself, so it kind of looks like the engine's running it. And then I just have some weapon clutter, basic stuff over here. Nothing crazy,
You want to move in after them too?
but it looks really cool.
They're there.
For this defensive building over here, I have a couple little dog houses. This guy is hanging out behind it. Look at his little goggles. Just some basic clutter over here for that. Oh, there's the other one. This was a really fun project. It's a little like shooting range for the guards to practice. All the bullet holes are actually like period punctuations from my lettering mod that I was talking about earlier. I think it came out really cool. It's perfect for the setting. Behind this kind of like guard barracks, I have just like a basic bathroom and these little like bathhouses that I made for the settlement. Just kind of one of these back here. These came out pretty cool. They're just basic like shower units that I tried to make look somewhat functional. It's obviously not, but. And then most of the bathrooms are pretty basic. I didn't do anything in those. They're just shitters. Inside here came out pretty simple. It's just a bunch of like military and armor, clutter. There's a little like eating spot and another radio in here. A couple Minuteman hats and uniforms. This little like wanted board came out good. It's actually just a weapon rack with some clutter on it. And the locker setup came out kind of nice too over here. We actually have a guard in his place. Look at him go.
Yes?
Very simple design here. Just kind of going for different military and weapon clutter. A lot of laser muskets because it's Minutemen.
I mean, I don't think it's a
Look at this guy.
terrible. A lot of towns have landed like mine. The guards will charge people. Like if they're
Silly
on
goose.
they'll charge people. There's just the town doesn't have.
The little radio's a
The
nice
town
touch
doesn't
here.
have much to offer. What does it have? Like lumber cutting.
Alright, do you want to get a couple pictures over here while I'm thinking about it? I did delete all the lighting effects I used for recording the video prior to this stream, but for picture's sake, I do want to kind of implement some back in. I removed them because they kind of knack at the game a little bit, like it causes a little bit of frame rate issues, so I didn't want to keep them on while I'm trying to like walk around and show off the settlement. For pictures, I do want to kind of include them, so I'm gonna place and delete some along the way just for picture's sake. I think I had a large one in here. Yeah. If you've never seen these are from the mod SOE, and they're pretty cool because they add like shadowed lighting effects to your settlements. It makes things you place blend in way better with its environment. And I use them a lot, but if you use too many of them, like I said, they do kind of eat at your game a little bit, so careful with how many you place. They're always like kind of the last or just for pictures thing that I do kind of at the end of the building process. Otherwise you do risk, especially on console, messing your game up a little bit.
Yeah, but they're not frowned upon to use it in other activities.
Alright,
It's like their armor and stuff. Can't really
that's good enough. And those, once you exit workshop mode, disappear, you can't see them. Just add that lighting effect. Alright, let's take a couple, you know what, I might as well add one over here as well. Just for picture's sake.
like David. I mean, yeah, you spent like 1,000 on books, so.
Sorry for the background noise.
I shall take care.
We'll add just like a medium one here. I usually use the warm ones. I'm a warm light gal.
Yeah, well, I think they're trying to make it more.
Sometimes the best way to light these up to make it look like natural lighting is whatever light source you have in the building, line up that shadow with that. So you see that shadow up at the top of that light bulb here? Kind of centering that with that. Using place anywhere, and there we go. Alright. One more thing. Turn off the opacity.
It's a Hero Nord. It's like a refurbished.
There we go.
Yeah, it's like equivalent to
While we're at it and taking pictures, let me see if that guy went to his post yet.
After the like tier, just get an artificial. It'll probably be like
Of course not. It's fine. take some more pictures later after stream, of course.
Dwarven's expensive.
Can it wait?
But for now, let me go ahead and close this too. I want to shop with it. Shut.
Well, like, potentially, if they ever give us the power to craft this armor through us, we need a blacksmith. Because I think that's the route that they're going.
Alright, I would love if the
Instead of
dog
just
would
gifting
walk this
people,
way a little bit.
from the gods. I think that's what they're trying to do.
That works.
Yeah, so we'll need all the professions in school doing stuff to be able to succeed ourselves, put it to ourselves,
Perfect.
Yeah, that's good. That's what it needs. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we need so we can get more armor without having to thank them for it. Because we can do it ourselves.
Yes?
Yeah, as a novice, you can get charcoal, you can get iron, you can help out with this because the stuff's probably gonna be steel quality. A lot of it. It's steel made, but like the quality's better. That's like I'm curious to see if it is steel. The thing is, the thing about silver is silver is not craftable in weapons. It never was in any.
Definitely gonna try to get this dude looking. Turn it around, damn it. Perfect.
Yeah?
Do one more. Here. Now I would love to try to get a shot at this with no one building in the background. I mean, at least from this angle, it kind of looks like a very small Marcy is here. Oh, perspective. Get out of here. Don't give me the don't give me no lip either. I don't need to hear it. Get out of here. Try and take pictures. It's actually pretty good. This guy can stay. Perfect.
Where did Argent go?
That works. Get one facing this way. I like how they're all posing. It's a rare moment that never happens in this game.
Yeah?
See, it's the best. I want to get a good angle of that engine.
There are other kinds though that are available.
Huh?
Yeah, but it's hard to explain. It's like stuck behind a certain storyline or tale.
Do a little jump shot.
Please, just... I
to be alone right now.
Hope one of those came out okay. The things I go through to take pictures in this game.
I think the normal. I see what you're saying.
Whoa.
I hope you find your son.
Huh?
I wonder how they.
Very cool. Get out of here. Big mope. Gene is not in his assigned spot either, but it's probably too early in the morning. I'm just gonna delete these lighting effects I placed real quick and then we'll continue on. Make sure I just delete the lighting effect.
I think it's equivalent to steel or less.
Oops. Whatever, this works.
That's why you're better off to get a weapon like of more good quality probably now.
Alright. For those just joining, I'm trying to take a bunch of screenshots
From what
as
I'm
I do this,
understanding,
so
there's, like, tiers of weapons in a sense. It's nothing
don't
about
mind the
iron is
nonsense.
like the worst tier, steel is
Yay.
like D tier.
Okay, so we've seen most of just the entry to the settlement.
Yeah?
This is the cul-de-sac itself.
We have the dwarven or the non-guard Nordic
Every building kind of has a different purpose, and I think it came out really cool.
Galactus and stuff are like B tier and stuff. Those are like
In true kind of like Fallout settlement fashion, I tried to make sure there was like one of every workbench somewhere in the settlement.
Ebony's gonna be A, and it's
So I have like
very
the power
very
armor
basic,
set up
right?
here
It's
at the
some
clinic.
fitted or something is going on here.
And then all the businesses are somewhat Minutemen,
Ebony,
like puns or related.
probably like high guard
Oh
or
boy,
something of
hold
the
on.
palace.
Be gone, bot.
Yeah, he's probably like the high guard of the palace, or like maybe the I don't know
Alright,
if there's
so
like a
this
high
is
priest
the
guard.
Minute
I
Clinic.
heard there's a high queen maybe.
This is actually a functioning surgery chair, so that's pretty useful here. I have just some basic medic clutter. And then our cooking station.
Is there a high king now?
This place came out pretty cool too. This is another functioning like guard or defense assignable. I
You know what
assigned
I call a
this
good day?
chick with a lab coat
One that
just so
ends
she
without an empty
looks
stomach.
medical.
Shut its brain.
Added the medicine bobblehead over here too. This was pretty easy. I had a pretty good idea in mind of what I wanted in here. I knew I wanted like a waiting area, an office area, this little coffee space. This coffee maker is from the mod, the coffee mod. It's one of my favorite mods. It's in most of my builds. And then we have a couple different medic bays. Pretty much same stuff, just placed differently. And then I have a lab area. This came out pretty neat. Very cluttered. And then in this kind of locked away room, I have this little like storage area. This doesn't really work, it's just kind of for show, but it's a lot of like vault clutter since probably most of the medical supplies are scavenged from the vault. So that's why I even have like the cryo case for like some different nuclear material and stuffs. And then just a bunch of clutter. The lab coat's a nice touch here, extra uniform. And then attached to the medic here, if we go this way, there's actually a drugstore over in the carport area. This is actually just a prefab from CVC. The only thing I added was some like candle clutter, this like little staircase add-on, and then this drug sign. Otherwise, this is all just a prefab, but it fits perfect in this little carport here.
So how did the knighthood go? Was it
We
good?
go around this way, continuing. There is a little bathroom area with a couple more of those shower stalls from earlier, as well as a few more outhouses. This outhouse is special because it actually has a little Easter egg in
We
it.
also had both of that little green color.
So Little Prez is Preston Garvey's character in one of my good friend Wasteland Panda's kind of like machinima series that he's doing right now. I highly recommend it. It's called, the channel itself is called Soul Survivors. I'm drawing a blank. But the Garvey Bros series is worth the watch. I highly recommend it. I've shared it before on the channel. Oh, but over here on the back side of the drug thing, there's actually a chemistry station. So it's super functional. Got some just basic chemistry, clutter. And that is pretty much the medic. I feel like taking the pictures is taking a while, so I'm just gonna kind of keep breezing through the tour for now. I'll come back and take my little pictures later. It's worth a shot to do it while I'm doing the tour, but I don't think the settlers are gonna cooperate anyway. This little area over here I call the cinder block. The reasoning behind it is I knew I wanted a place for traders to kind of be able to stay right up front at the entrance. So I had this kind of caravan post that you get from
What happens if you get around the giant?
the one mission at
Stick to the roads. And you got
what's
a
that
better
settlement
chance
called?
of
Oh, Bunker Hill. You get this kind of caravan post, and it had all this like cinder block backing. So I took inspiration from that, and all the decoration I used around somehow included cinder blocks for the most part. So like I have the cinder block fireplace where they can kind of hang, or Brahmins can stand on. And then a couple outhouses, trading clutter, and then a little workshop area. I continued the cinder blocks with like a bench and seating over here,
Hope you ain't one of them synths here to spy on
as
us.
well as there's a few different beds they can stay in. There's the cinder block one here.
Now the good doctor.
This is actually a functioning bed from CVC. And then this is actually a bed as well. So there's plenty of places to sleep and work over here. This workshop came out cool. This settler is actually assigned to a guard mat, a warm hands guard mat. So she's just warming her hands on
So much care for good neighbor. That place is nothing
some
but
workshop
trouble.
clutter. But from behind it looks like she's working, so it's good enough. Over here I have some more trading clutter as well as a little hermit.
My back hurts.
There's another
My feet hurt.
CVC guard
Everything
mat where
hurts.
you sit on the ground, so I set like a piece of cardboard and a little tip can, and I put the settler in some rags and just forced him to sit
You
here.
can always use some more muscle around
But
here.
it looks cool.
I know I might
It's
look
great
like a
decoration.
beast, but I try to avoid violence myself.
This next building is the general shop. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Minuteman pun here. I really like the sign that I fashioned out here. The planter actually fits with the foundation almost perfectly. It's a nice touch. This building was fun. I really just threw in a bunch of clutter. And I have, what are you doing behind?
You know what? Since we
Ay,
talked,
Dios mío.
I'm feeling swell. Look at
Never
the
ceases
two
to
of
amaze
us
me. I guess
here in sanctuary,
the Vault Tech guy has someone
prepared
shadowing him
for the
today.
future.
Yes.
We're just gonna go with that. But anyway, Jesus, here's the general store. The shelving itself in here came out really cool. It's super cluttered. So this piece here was actually just a prefab preset, I think from CVC.
Just to make sure
And I really liked the just random assortment of clutter it had on it. So when I put together this side, I tried to just go with that. Like every shelf was different, but the same almost. So I kept like some kitchen stuff together and whatnot, but I tried to go with a similar kind of assortment as the side.
things are looking up. I can feel it this time.
And then this front area turned into the kind of like apparel spot. So I got like some armor and clothes clutter,
Did you guys see the Knights of Skyrim?
little seat to try on shoes. And then over here, I put this furniture and kind of houseware stuff display over here. And then I added the chairs and they just didn't look like, it wasn't believable that they were for sale. So what I did is I fastened these little plunger floor signs, I guess you could call them. I have a short on my YouTube that actually shows how I put these together. I did it on stream not too long ago. But they're the perfect scrappy addition for this store. And it actually made it way more believable that these were for sale. I guess she was just testing that out. Over here I have like some radio and components, clutter, some magazines, and then pretty much everything behind the counter is like weapons and ammo. The missile launcher hanging up here looks cool.
You have no idea what
I believe this guy's shoved himself all the way back here.
around for 2 centuries with this ugly mug.
Moving on. So this area is actually intended to be the Vault-Tec salesman like apartment area. So I have it kind of closed off from the rest of the shop. In this closet, I added some power armor. I just put a little security fence door on it. And then this little room, which was like the laundry room, turned into just basic storage for the store. Put a little bit of everything in here. Just cluttered it up. Just stuff to throw in the shelves and basic storage. It's never super believable in Fallout sometimes when you like go to a store and they have like hundreds of things in their inventory, but like it's one little shack. It's like, where's all the stuff? Where are you keeping all that shit? That's where he's keeping all of it. Why are you trying to go into his house, dude? Get out of here. This is the Vault-Tec salesman's house. I think I did pretty good with these rooms. I actually went for like a Vault-Tec kind of theme, so like the color schemes are very blue and yellow, and I used a bunch of Vault assets. He has like some extra clothes in his room, some just general clutter. For the sheets on the bed, they're actually sized up fashion magazines. I've been using these sized up to look like cloth awnings and stuff for a while, but I've never thought to use them as like bed sheets. And I thought it didn't look bad. This is a cute little cat tree from, I believe, Creative Clutter. So when I saw this, I was like, well, he's getting a cat now, because that just fits perfect. So here's his little kitty. There's a little wet bar, just some basic drink clutter. And then this is like office, dining, kitchen. This was actually the bathroom in the original house, but I've kind of like closed off the door to it here and made this all kind of one big unit. So we have a little dining space. Kitchen is great. There's even little cat bowls for the kitty. Basic, clean kitchen. You know, he's not cooking much, and he's probably a pretty tidy guy. I really liked this enamel bucket sized up for a trash can. I thought it was different and I wanted the colors to look like Vault Techie, so like I had the blue cabinets, so I went with the yellow bucket and I think it looks cool. This was a fun add-on. I really wanted like a hood vent of some kind for the stove, and CVC, or not CVC, but Creative Clutter had a cool one, like it was a built-in fan and everything, but it did not fit the room like at all. So I actually just took another cabinet and just like placed it on top of that hood vent, and I thought it looked pretty cool. Worked better for the space and better for the theme. The only thing I don't necessarily like is that the cabinets and the appliances are two different color blues. I had never noticed that till I started building this settlement, and it kind of irks me, but you know, it is what it is. They went through a nuclear blast. I'm sure the paint's gonna fade a little bit. Oh well. The office came out great. This safe was actually already here, so I kind of just built in the office around it. We got the Vault Tech clutter on the wall. Vault Tech colored decorative items. I thought the art of haggling was a nice nice touch over here. That like you hardly even see, but it fits the theme pretty well. I just noticed those are kind of clipping back there and don't really care. Those are just like some boarding for the walls. They're actually vault clutter, so they went with the theme really well. I just lined the entire back wall with them. I did never notice that those weren't those weren't placed right, but hey, it's not the end of the world. If I didn't notice till now, then it's obviously not that game changing. I liked the tea clutter on this coffee table. It actually matches that hood vent trim, so I kind of tied that together for me. I hated every coffee table I used in this space for some reason, until I eventually just threw some boxes down underneath it. And that's like a good tip if you're ever hating the space or hating a table. Try layering something underneath it, and then you might like it better. Oh, hey Sean. How you doing? Just kind of going through a more in-depth tour of Sanctuary than the video went through. Kind of show off some of the small details and such. So that is pretty much the general store. Bye, Settler.
Look at you. 2 centuries, and your skin's as smooth as a baby.
I think the next building we'll check out is the apartments. I loved how this building came out. I actually just scrapped the roof of this original house and built up. I needed more places for settlers to live and sleep, so it made sense to have some sort of like either neighborhood or apartment building of some kind. For the base floor, I made it the bar. It is Murphy's Bar and Grill, which is obviously a Mama Murphy pun, but it's as well as the first bar that I sound a little croaky. I've just been talking a lot this week. It's been really busy at work, and I'm out of it. I'm out of it, but I'm fine. Just working way too hard, as usual. But the first bar that I ever worked at was actually called Murphy's, so this is kind of an ode to that too. This came out super fun. The disco ball was a nice touch. This also doubles as Marcy and June's house. They run the apartments and the bar. June, not the best bartender, but he gets the job done. And then the kind of like overarching landlady of the building is Mama Murphy herself, so she gets the bulk of the the profits. Bars, super simple, just some basic bar clutter. The curtains filled in this space well. They added something really nice to it. And then we have a little dartboard area and radio. She's definitely not clean, and I've actually already given her, I think, 2 chems. I think it's like 4 or 5, I don't remember. Whenever you give her Psycho, that's the last one, then she disappears. But I have already saved her appetite a little bit. Behind the bar is super simple bar clutter. I have a couple sinks and storage. We have some chem payments there, as well as a chem box down here. I know this this rug is kind of out of place, but I had a different CVC bar or food mat somewhere else, one of like the invisible mats, and for some reason, like at night when settlers normally go to the bar, they kept going to that one. So I kind of like overrid that. I changed the other one to a different like defense slot, and this is the bar one. So it just works better for whatever reason. We have a bunch of different spirits to choose from. Pretty much all that exists in the game, as well as some of these Nuka mix flavors for mixers, literally. A couple of these crystal decanters, I just sized them to make them look a little different. We got some dirty water, some lemonade, and even some Vim. A little bit of everything back here. I really like this subway stopper along the hallway here, because this is kind of the employee spot, but it does stay open once you go through it, which is kind of annoying. I have to do this little dance to get it to open back up. I had to do this so many times when recording the videos because settlers kept walking through it. Oh well, it's not the end of the world, but it looks great there. It has a great purpose. Once you go this way, similar to the general store, there is a separate apartment area back here. But these 2 rooms are for the business itself. So I have a big kitchen. It's a restaurant-sized kitchen with plenty of stuffs. The like server poster here is a nice touch. Plenty of stuff in the fridge. I'm not gonna lie, the fridges aren't like jam-packed. I basically just put one thing in that one because I was getting so tired of cluttering that I was like, you just see that through the door anyway, so who cares? But that's the meat fridge, basically. This idea was cool. So to make these extra drawers, they're actually just separate cabinets. Here, I'll go into workshop mode to kind of explain it.
What they should do is they should shift 6 hours or 12 hours
Any day now.
like forward or back.
So yeah, these pieces are actually just entire cabinets. I just used place anywhere to get them like stacked up. So there's just 2 separate ones that I have just at that shelf level. So it just looks like it looks like extra shelving, even though it isn't. Just kind of fills in that space, makes it look more industrial. And then 2 stoves for ample cooking space, and just plenty of clutter in here. I love this mixer. It's from Creative Clutter, I think. Over here, that's actually a Mirelurk egg that I sized way down, just to look like there was some basic cooking clutter here. There's also a wash-up mat that makes it look like the settlers doing dishes. For whatever reason, every time I leave the game and come back, it unassigns it. So usually there's no one in here, but it's there. And then this is kind of Codsworth dry cleaning and cleaning closet. I love the idea of Codsworth continuing to be like almost the handyman cleaning robot as he was originally for us, so it's nice to give him his own little space. And then just basic cleaning and laundry clutter in here came out really nice. Some extra handy fuel and a couple stacked washers and dryers.
Yeah, I was with Calidor and someone else, and I told him the first person I saw.
Onto
And they
the
ran
inside
ran back, and then he's like, I missed it.
of their little apartment.
He did miss it. And he's like, how did he
I
feel?
shoved
I was
this
like, yeah,
cabinet
took it away.
back into this kind of closeted space back here. It just kind of cluttered it up. For their bedroom, most of this was like the original house. Like these dressers were originally here. The bed was originally on this wall. This was the original nightstand. So I really played off the original assets for this one and then just kind of decorated based on that. For the bed, these two pieces are from CVC, and then I put an extra box and then one of these kind of security barricades to make it look like a headboard. And then I really loved how these modern lights looked in here because it was more like a modern house, so I shrunk down a couple of the stand ones to make table size lamps. Oh boy. And then just some basic bedroom and household clutter in here, nothing crazy. I love the added chems. We know Marcy and June are gonna be taking some chems too. They're probably just as bad as Mama Murphy, if not worse, with what they've been through, so some extra clothes in the dresser. And it looks pretty good. And then this room is actually pretty much the same as it was too. So this desk
Do I look like I want to
and
chit-chat?
filing cabinet area all back here are original assets. I just added a couple more filing cabinets and then cluttered the heck out of the room really. These chairs were original too. Most of it's all original. I just kind of threw a bunch of clutter on it. She's assigned to another card
still
mat
ain't
here
perfect,
to look
but
like
we're
she's reading.
surviving.
Looks really nice. We have like the key clutter because this is basically for the apartment building, so I'm sure there's lots of keys and extra keys. There's actually one apartment that's vacant and for rent, so I'd like to imagine that's that apartment's key pretty much. Was the idea for placing it there. Of course we need some alcohol on the table. Marcy's not the type of gal to work
Nothing I hate
sober.
more than raider scumbags. If you run into any,
Then
put
just
a few
some
down for
basic
me.
like office clutter and stuff. I threw this clipboard in here. I thought it looked so nice. This is actually just a folded note from a Creative Clutter and a souvenir magnet from the Nuka World DLC. I love using these magnets on fridges and stuff. I've never thought of actually putting like a little note or something under it, but I thought it was a super nice touch. I actually use it again somewhere else in Sanctuary as well.
I'll stop complaining when there's nothing left to complain about.
The floor pad things are CVC, yes. They are under like defense or something. They're mostly guard post basically. On PC there's actually
Just
a
when you
mod
think you're
called
safe,
Busy
you're not.
Settlers,
That's
I
how it
think it's
always
called.
get
And that adds a bunch of like crafting workbenches and clutter that you can also assign your settlers to, so it gives you more options for that kind of stuff. So I'll be able to use that here soon. But that's pretty much the bar in this area. The whole bottom, at least. Let's move on. We'll check out the produce stand soon. Let's keep at it with the apartments themselves. This first level is Mama Murphy's house. This textured building is, I believe, from the mod Port Royal. It's like a shipping container look. But the colors matched the whole build really nice. The like blue and like red or like rusted colors matched the vibe a lot. So I went with that with the decorations out here too, with the blue and red. And then inside here, it's pretty Mama Murphy coded. I used a lot of like the Children of Adam stuff, just because I love those lights. And then
One day,
this is her like tarot card thing.
vibrant
It's from
moon.
Creative Clutter. This whole
I've
table is.
seen
Her chair, of course, and then it's a little basic bed area. What I thought was a really nice and like random touch was this piece from the Red Rocket. I thought it was just a nice like
No
way to
need
break up the
cite
textures on the
see
wall
you've
there.
done real good for
And
these
they probably like scavenged it from Red Rocket itself, so a nice little ordeal in here. I think it came out cool. Upstairs are the apartments themselves. This guy's assigned to
If
a
you
little
work,
guard
you leave.
chair. That way he kind of hangs out up here.
Alright, so we're gonna split up into small.
This table itself I made on stream. I knew I wanted a patio table and I wanted to attach this umbrella to it because I used the same kind of umbrella for my produce stand. So I put the two
Fun, not
together
much,
and then the table
but
looked
it's something.
so small. So I sized up a plate actually and just kind of maneuvered it on top of it just to extend the table itself.
If you ever wanted windmills,
And then to make the combination of umbrella and table kind of mesh a little bit better,
Yes.
this is actually a sized up gear that I squeezed into there. I use gears a lot for random things, so I figured this would be a good touch for this. Makes it actually look built in to the table.
So let's check west. Maybe they're fleeing on the opposite side of Skylines.
There's 4 different
Check
apartments.
Sinestro of late.
We'll start with, and we might as well
Need
go
to
in
get
number
back to
order. I
Diamond
thought
City
these
one of
were
these days.
cool touch
Biggest
to
town
label
in
the apartments that are for rent. But we'll start with one. This one is more of like the hostel room. I really needed some more beds to make the amount of settlers and livelihood of this settlement believable. So I needed one room that was more like maybe each bed was for rent. And then somehow along the way, I think I designed this around the same time I built the little fishing spot of the settlement. So I had a fishing theme on the mind, and I like theming certain rooms. It helps me get better ideas for decorations and stuff. So this somehow became nautical themed. I don't know how, but it worked out pretty good. Gave me some more decoration to use, like the shelving. I have the ship wheel on the wall. This little view is great. We have a view of the whole entrance of the settlement here, as well as an extra radio, so you can connect to all the defense. The kitchen's pretty basic. You know, there's a bunch of people living here, so there's just probably always just food and extras. Got some cereal clutter up there. Then here, I love this nautical bed from Creative Clutter. It probably helped inspire this nautical theme, so I went with that. It has like the fishing hat on it and everything. They had the same but non-cluttered, so I put that in. And then just some more nautical stuff and fishing stuff on the dresser. So yeah, this one is more like the you rent by the bed kind of deal. Seated.
Crop's been growing pretty good.
This one, number 2 across the way, is actually the one that's for rent, so I put the sign up. This one is vacant, so there's not a whole lot of clutter in here, but it is a pretty good start for whoever ends up renting it. Even has a TV. I went with a crate theme in here. So I started with the bed, and I was like, oh, I like the crates. So I just started putting a whole bunch of them everywhere, really. For this one, I threw on another plate, similar to this idea, just to kind of extend the crate, make it look a little more table-esque. And then, pretty simple layout over here, another crate. When I attached this utility sink here, it wasn't crate enough, so I actually installed this chair from CVC but I just placed it underneath it like it was kind of built in or attached for that kitchen area. For this room, I decided to have it look like someone was either moving in or moving out of it. So there's not a whole lot of clutter in here, but there's a bunch of like boxes and suitcase, some basic, barely anything in the fridge, basic clutter over here. The receipt I'd like to think is maybe even like a shopping list if you're not looking right at it. Some simple food, maybe the new key or old key if we're moving out. And then just some bedroom stuff in this box. Pretty simple. I like this little chain link window back here. It has actually a pretty good view. You could, I guess, open it, but oh, yep, of course, I installed it that way, so doesn't matter. And then this last one is my favorite. For this one, I used a lot of recycled diner parts, and I went for that kind of theme. And I think it came out really cute. This is the one that I would want to live in. I even threw on some of this tile floor from Snappy, and it came out really nice. The pops of red. We used the diner stools in here. There's also another settler assigned to a
Farming's as
CVC
honest
mat
as
over
honest
here.
work gets.
And then the bed is made with like a booth, like a diner booth, so it's very cool. Like I said, the pops of red look really cool in here. It actually started with this island piece here.
Easy living, this ain't.
I really liked how the barrels looked holding it up. So when I went to make the rest of the kitchen, I put in this diner like table back here. And then I actually attached a barrel like underneath it, that way it would match this island. So that's actually the first diner piece that I used, and then when I started putting a bunch of different like colored things and experimenting, I came up with this kind of diner theme, and I really, really love it. This kitchen is just like chef's kiss.
Everybody crashed, like the whole server.
Best thing about this top one here too is it has this little balcony area through an extra like cooking grill and like sunning table. There's a ladder here for if you had to get on top of the roof, even though there's really nothing up there, but it's there if you had to. The view from here looks great too. The whole back side of the settlement forest here. Alright, we're almost done.
You hear about that farm run by Ghoul?
Next up, we're going to walk through the kind of farm area, starting with the produce stand. This truck was actually pre-existing here. I just built off of it using this shelf from Workshop Decorations pack and just building off of it. Really just filled it up with a bunch of different just like garden clutter and decoration. Added another fireplace back here for the apartment settlers to kind of hang out at. Let me get some water. Along this side here we have our water storage. This is actually just a big water tank from CVC. I placed this pump next to it and then connected the two with this random pipe I found from one of my mods. And I just put some empty barrels and clutter back here. I also attached, and it's not super believable, but it looks alright. I attached this water pump itself over here. Uh-oh. Note to self, don't use that. Oh, Ian. Okay, we'll go back to when we slept. Anyways, I did put a water pump here just to make it look a little more believable that you could get water out of this setup. I don't love how the barrels don't quite line up height-wise with that, but the best I could do with what I had. This is the kind of farm area. I do have some handies running the show here that I made. Of course, this one decides to climb on fences. And then for some reason, when I started recruiting settlers, like I turned my beacon on, I got both of the Abernathy women. So this is like a Connie, and this is Lucy. I don't know why they came here, but I figured since they came from a farm, I might as well put them in the farm. So I got her there and her running the produce stand. One thing I love about the farm is that it uses the like picket fencing. There was so much picket fencing that I scrapped in this settlement that I felt like I had to use it somewhere. So the farm was a really good place for it. Back here I have this little sproutling setup. It is, the planter I think is from Workshop Decorations pack, and then the plants themselves are from Creative Clutter and CVC. I love those little signed crops from Creative Clutter, and those are functioning too, so every now and then a settler will be over here watering and messing with them. And then back here there's just an extra little defense setup, that way they can see what's going on behind the settlement here, in case anyone's attacking from back here, with just some turrets and lighting. Surprised she's actually in her spot. As well as just an extra bed and decoration back here.
I will be trying.
Oh, I forgot to show back this way behind the apartments. There's actually another selection of the bathhouses and the bathroom. It's actually 3 since there's a lot of people that live in the apartment.
Spiritual nightmares. I get on.
And here is just basically lots and lots of storage. I got a little bit of garden clutter up front here. The extra fences back here, a nice touch. And some empty barrels and boxes back here. I loved these shelves from CVC. There's actually 2 of them stacked together here.
Yeah, we were just talking about that too.
There's something about the single spotlight lighting in this building that I adore. Moving on, we have basically the power utility building. This is also where Sturgis lives. This building was a prefab from CVC, and then I attached this sanctuary prefab from CVC to it and just kind of combined the two. This one became basically the power utility area. So there's a lot of just power decoration and electrical themed stuff. Most of the wires in here really aren't functional, they're just kind of decoration. I even have like extra conduits and connectors in here as well.
Well, I mean, she's all about that. I think she's enjoying it. Yeah.
Fun stuff. Oh, this is sunk. Just push that back up. There we go. And then for Sturgis's house next door, his house especially looks better with some lighting effects in it, but it's okay. Go through, it's a little dark, but it's alright. There's kind of a red rocket and like workshop theme in here, so it's very scrappy and put together. Really, I put this red rocket poster back here to kind of fill up this wall space. And that's the only reason I put this poster in here, is just so it matched, but it works great. Then over here we have this couch that I made using a couple CVC chair seats, crates, and this kind of construction divider. A lot of construction-based decoration in here. Another one of these scavenging stations. I've never actually seen Sturgis in his house, but it's okay. He also has some robot repair clutter. I figure he would work on the robots that are running the farm and such. He's very mechanically inclined. His bedroom's honestly the best part. I use this scaffolding to kind of divide the room itself. And then the kind of gas range as the headboard for the bed. This shelf from Workshop Decorations pack. I don't know, there's just something about it. I think it came together really good. Moving on. The last building itself we'll tour is the recruitment center. I loved this building, but I wanted it to look more like colonial and more like the presentation to be better. So I started with these columns that I found in Snappy Housekit, and I just attached those to the front. But that didn't look put together enough, so I added then the porch, which I think helped a lot. These benches out here are actually CVC beds, so they can be used as beds as well. Thought that was a helpful little touch. It kind of ups that bed count for the settlement. The sign was made with some planks from CVC, and then the lettering was from my lettering mod that I use. I'd like to imagine a lot of the stuff in here they salvaged from the Museum of Freedom. So it's basically their major recruitment office. I usually have a settler assigned here. Codsworth, what are you doing in here? Oh, also we loaded, so this guy's head's cut off. It happens.
Just hovering here.
Alright, first off, you get out of here. I know you're probably just cleaning or something in there, but you're in my way, sir. Well, you're just gonna stay here, not listen to me.
She agrees that they have an advantage, but she also agrees that it shouldn't matter. But
Let me just grab a new one of these. For some reason, this object does not cooperate.
that's a. What's our Guardian technology?
I believe it's in apparel itself. The CVC. Maybe deco. There it is.
Wait.
Place that back in here. Perfect. Other than Codsworth being in here,
Take a walk. I'll get some fresh air.
let me try assigning him to something. Maybe that'll get him out of here.
Doing nothing.
I'll make him go work in the farms. Oh well. Get you, girl. Mwahaha. Nexus, quit itching. Did that work? No. Stay a little nap.
Yeah. Good idea.
You bastard. Whatever. Anyways, this is the recruitment center. Basically wanted this to be like Preston's home and main office for everything Minutemen. So over here we have a nice little conference area. I love the office dividers. I believe I found those in Snappy, I want to say. A little receptionist desk, and then Preston's office over here. Pretty basic. I love the desk clutter. Over here I have this little exams spot. This is very reminiscent to like Fallout 76 when you do your kind of like aptitude tests for like the scouts and stuff in that game. As much as I hate taking those tests in 76, I like the idea of them, so I implemented those here kind of. Think of this as kind of like the Minuteman aptitude test. There's also a couple special charts over here. Just part of the interview process. Hey, Gravity. Over here is just some general display stuff they took from the museum, or the Museum of Honor and stuff. The general hat, little cannon and cannonball, the little flag. There was actually the same display case right here in this building, pre-existing, with a trifold in it. So basically I just moved that over and implemented it. This is the job board. We actually made this on stream too. It's just a basic bulletin board from, I think, either the custom signs mod I have or CVC, that I put the custom signage on, made this little chalk holder with 2 yardsticks, and added some chalk. And I like the idea of this having different like recruitment areas or settlements, as the sign says, settlements that need the new recruits' help. Over here we have a general uniform that I have set up on display. Just some office clutter. Back here is for employees only. Preston's apartment is actually back here too. In this closet space I added some uniforms for the new recruits. This is our little break room. Just a small kitchenette set up in here. I love the water cooler here. There's something about the idea of like Minutemen water cooler gossip that's just so funny to me. Let me close this. I have some lockers set up for just whoever's working here. I followed that same kind of note and souvenir magnet trick here that I did in the other office. This room was like a nursery or something beforehand. I actually turned it into the armory. The safe was already pre-existing. Just added some shelving and the weapons workbench back here. Very realistic room. This here is Preston's room. You can already tell by the clothes on display. I started with this little mudroom concept. This is a conduit that I attached some hangers and clothes to. And then this divider is, I think, from G2M. And I loved how it had these little hooks on it. So I utilized those hooks, even though this one's a little off, but we're not going to talk about it. Utilized these hooks to hang some stuff on it. So I got the hat, and the short laser musket actually worked perfect, because there was a spot to hook it. Over here, I love the wooden baseboards in here. I think it was a nice touch. Super basic clutter. Very similar to a lot of the other rooms. For his bed, this is a CVC bed with a CVC mattress with a museum divider. It's a very interesting combination of things, but it fits the vibe of this building very well. That is pretty much all of the recruitment center. One of my favorite buildings of this build.
Where the reeds would be brown.
Definitely screams Minutemen.
Yeah. He's learning.
Here at the central tree, I didn't replace this tree because there was no way to do that, but I did find the same exact tree with this fall coloring in one of my mods, so I just squeezed that tree on top of the other one. It took some fiddling and it's still not perfect, but I think it looks great. I found this cool statue, so I used that as kind of a centerpiece here, and then I just made it super overgrown. Some flowers and hedges, and just kind of filled in this whole centerpiece here. Last but not least, and then I will probably skedaddle, is there's one extra exit out this way. Actually decided down by the river where there was like a nice picnic table set up. I added a little fishing area.
Yeah, but
So I threw
shit
some
happens
fishing
on
clutter right out
Yeah,
here
really, what
by
do
the
you mean?
door, little tackle box, and
Every
like
night
even the
something
different
happens.
colored, or the different size, I should say, buckets over here look great.
So
There is an extra little defense spot here. There's actually a mat that sometimes they'll sit on, but obviously they're not here right now. And then down here we have our fishing area. Like I said, these tables were already pre-existing. I just threw a whole bunch of fishing clutter around them. This little smoker grill was from CVC Fall Under. It's a really good fit here. There was actually no bench on this seat, so I took this shelf that I believe is from Creative Clutter. I'm not 100% sure. Port Royal, actually. So I put this shelf here and it wasn't quite long enough, so I just used a CVC plank to put on top of it and fit the rest of the space. It worked out great. For this is actually just a sized down piece of angler meat. Looks like they're cutting up fish to cook. I got the lobster trap helmet from Far Harbor over here too. Basically squeezed everything nautical and fish related I could over here. This fish packing station, I think settlers will sometimes use. I haven't seen it yet, but I believe it's functioning. For these couple dividers, I used these like dock pylons, and then I just attached some like fish netting and buoys too. For this one, I even added some fish in the netting. And then down here, I added a couple of these boats from G2M. Normally, she sits down at that little mat there, but you know, she can stand there if she wants, I guess. This was a really good fit for this settlement to utilize this kind of river going around it, and just to supply some more food for the settlement too. That is about it for the tour. I think that's about everything. Be sure if you're interested to check out some of like the work in progress videos that led to this completed settlement, as well as more to come. This is actually the first of a series where I try to rebuild every settlement in the game, so this is just episode 1 really. We'll be going to Red Rocket soon. I actually have started that settlement, but I am in the process of possibly moving over to PC building, so it is not on this save. I also don't want to overdo this save. I was already having some lag at this settlement. If I built another settlement just as big right across that bridge, it would definitely crash my game. So I try to do like maybe 1 or 2 settlements in a save anyway. So the next one will be done on PC. That's not to say I won't ever do another Xbox build, because I love building on Xbox. I'm used to building on Xbox. But I also am super interested in some things the PC offers, because I've never really like experienced it before. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you check out the cinematic tour over on YouTube. I worked really hard on it.
But like, I like that central location.
I will see you guys probably, well, of course Thursday. I don't know what we're going to be streaming Thursday, but I should have another video posted by Sunday of the start of Red Rocket. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.